My name is John. I am from Asaba in Delta State. I spent all my formative years in Delta State as I live happily with my parents and siblings. I did not come to Lagos until when I became a graduate and relocated to Lagos and reside with my elder sister, who at that time got married and blessed with 3 children. Her husband, which is my brother-in-law, is a very kind man who wouldn't want me to stay at home idle. Quickly fixed me up with a friend of his who is a phone engineer at the popular Computer Village Market at Ikeja, where I learned how to repair phones. Pending the time I get hold of a white-collar job as I studied accounting at the Delta State University. My elder sister works as a supervisor at the popular Sweet Sensation Eatery at about Macaulay Way, Alagomeji, while her husband works as an insurance broker at an insurance firm in Apapa area of Lagos State. My sister and her husband leaves home early in the morning after dropping the children off at school. As for myself, I would not leave home until 10 a.m. for Computer Village. We used to have this neighbor who works at Aja as a driver. Due to cost of transportation and the stress thereunto, this neighbor of mine, Uncle Sam, leaves home on every Mondays morning and comes back on Friday night. This has been his usual practice even before I joined my sister and her family in their apartment at Ojota area of Lagos State. The wife of my neighbor, Uncle Sam, sells provisions and packaged food items at a makeshift shop in front of our house. They had a 3-year-old daughter, Deborah. Ever since I came to that premises, my neighbor's wife always feel uneasy and uncomfortable seeing me on a daily basis. If I greeted her, she will quickly respond and walk away without maintaining eye contact. At first, I thought it was her character of greeting people, but later discovered that she responds very well to others, especially my sister and her husband, when exchanging greetings. With time, I thought I might have offended her in one way or the other ever since I came to that same premises, but later gave it another afterthought that this woman has been trying to avoid me from day one that I set my eyes on her after moving into my in-laws' apartment, and baffled on the thoughts of how I might have offended her. Being an introvert that I am, I did not bother myself in confronting her to know why she gives me that kind of cold attitude when exchanging pleasantries. So I ignored her attitude and moved on with my life while still greeting her anytime we stumbled on each other within the premises. Days turn into weeks and weeks turns into months as I focus on my phone repairing business at Computer Village, while still hoping that I would land a decent white-collar accounting job one day. Then the unimaginable happened on a Wednesday morning. While preparing to go to my place of work, I had an unfamiliar knock on our apartment door, and I wondered who was that, as I had no close friends within the neighborhood who can pay me a visit, knowing fully well that I was courting with my sister and her family. I eagerly reached out to the door to know who was knocking on our door. I was surprised to see my neighbor's wife, Mommy Deborah, whom I have not for once had any discussion with apart from exchanging greetings in the morning and in the evening while returning back from work. She welcomed me with an amazing smile as I opened the door for her, and she humbly requested that I assisted her in fixing a light bulb which she just bought newly but unable to fix same due to fear of electricity shock. I was amazed at her request and politely granted her wish by following her to her apartment which is directly facing hers on the same top floor. The welcoming fragrance of her apartment sent me into frenzy as I was surprised at the beautiful interior decoration of her sitting room, which is far better than hers. Immediately, I began to imagine how a driver earning a small salary could be able to tastefully furnish his apartment like this. She ushered me into a dining section where the wall bracket is and handed me the new bulb. I immediately fixed it and descended from the stool that I climbed. While descending from the stool, I noticed an unusual, enticing smile beaming from her face. She told me, "Thank you, Brother John, for helping to fix the light bulb," and responded accordingly. As I was about to reach for the door, she held my left hand and drew me closer to herself. I was initially afraid of what her intentions were, but upon looking at her eyeballs, I noticed a strong desire of affections, love, and undying feelings of bodily touch. I asked her in a solemn voice that, "Mommy Deborah, hope all is well." She smiled and responded slowly that, "Brother John, ever since I set my eyes on you 3 months ago, I have been obsessed with you and I've never felt the same way before in my life." She continued by saying that I struggled to fight the urge of obsession, but the more I tried, the stronger it becomes. At this moment, I could feel my blood pumping fast into the veins in my Gbola and my heart racing so fast. She continued while still holding my hand by saying that in a move to suppress the unusual urge and feelings, she decided to avoid being around me and also avoid eye contact. At this moment, it dawned on me that all this negative attitude she has been displaying towards me all this while were born out of obsession. Immediately, my fear and anger concerning her attitude turns into joy as I felt very special at that moment. This is a woman who is in her late 30s and me in my mid-20s. Mommy Deborah is a beautiful and very endowed woman every man would want to knock, and I began to wonder why all these good things began to happen to me. In a matter of seconds, I responded by saying that you are a married woman and I wouldn't want to defy your body and break your marriage covenant with your husband. And more so, your husband is a good man and wouldn't want to hurt the feelings of a good man. She responded by saying that everything that would happen here today, that she promised she wouldn't tell anyone. I gently removed my hand from her grip and slowly walked backwards towards the door and reached for the door so that I can exit her apartment. Upon trying to open the door, I discovered that she had locked the door with a key while she kept the key on the center table right there in the sitting room. I told her to open the door for me so that I can take my leave, but rather, all of a sudden, she removed her top, therefore displaying her 2 huge and giant baby milk factories, still partially strapped in an already stressed bra, begging to be let loose. Upon sighting this natural endowment of ours, I totally lost it as I could not control myself again at that moment. Upon noticing my helpless condition, she moved closer to me and held my 2 hands and placed them on the 2 gigantic baby milk factories. At this moment, I was already hard rocked down there and jerking. She immediately followed it up with hot kisses and intense smooching. This went on for like 120 minutes as I eventually undressed her completely. Upon sighting her full, natural and complete God-made body, my Gbola almost exploded as I was seriously craving for her body. She paused and rushed into one of the bedrooms and came back with a pack of raincoat for protection. She gently unpacked the raincoat, gently removed it from the main oil-based foil pack and placed it slowly and gently on my Gbola. At that moment, I wanted to cry because the pleasure was nothing to be compared with. She later knelt down and instructed me to enter from behind. I did exactly what she said, and I noticed that her kpekus was very wet. Immediately, I entered. I fired aggressively from behind while holding the two baby milk factories simultaneously. She started singing in a loud voice that she couldn't control herself, and thereafter we arrived at the seashore together, making all the adventure a sweet one. She gazed at me looking tired, and she whispered into my ears by saying, "See you again tomorrow, darling." I left her apartment in a joyful mood like who just won $1 million lottery. The next day came, and I am skeptical if I should go or not because her husband is a good person. Kindly advise me, please.